Hello, welcome back to BlenderSushi Live Learning. Earlier today, I made this kind of visualization of this Stanford dragon. You might have seen it at some point. This is just the dragon statue scan from Stanford, and then I'm using Blender Modifier. So yeah, this is super simple to do, right? You can just do it manually, or even better if you know Python. But I'm actually doing it using Sverchok, and it's just super simple. I'm using the Object ID node. I'm gonna show you real quick. So save as. This is Sverchok Object ID Voxel, or just Remesh. Let's say we have this box, and we go to compositing, switch on Sverchok, and we're gonna use either Object ID MK2 or Object ID Get, whichever you like. Here the idea is if we have this box and have a couple of them, for example, and you want to kind of have a different subdivision for each object, how do you do that? Of course, you can use just you can use drivers, you can use Python, whichever. You can also do it manually here, right? But here we are trying to do it using Sverchok. So this is still something that's quite new for me, and we know that we can do this using animation nodes, but with Sverchok seems to be, it can be a lot faster, depends what you are doing. So changing subdivisions, as we know, we can just use this command, bpy.context.objectModifier. This is the name of the modifier, and the level is the value. So we can just copy that and paste it here. Just get rid of the object and just do it like this. So for this 1, 2, 3, 4 objects, I'm just gonna grab it and plug the objects there, and the value, let's use integer value. Let's see if this works. Okay, see, this worked right away, and it's really super simple. Let's say you have like 8 of them. You can you can control all of them if we just if you select all of them and then get selections, and then now we can control this guy, this attribute, just by using Object ID Set MK2. Okay, another way is just to use this Object ID Get. This is gonna get all the mesh in the field, and just plug that in there, and there you go. It works right away. Very cool. In fact, if you can see the number of object here, 16 of them. Maybe we don't need that many, but let's see. If we are using range integer, and let's make this start step maybe 5, stop at 5. Plug that in. So they're currently, seems like it's not happy about the value. Count. Maybe I give like the number that's too large. Yeah, because I just made like really high subdivision here. That's not a good idea actually. Let's terminate that real quick. Gonna reset Blender. Oftentimes we give like the value that's too big and Blender couldn't handle it. So be careful with this. I think even subdivision of 4 is already pretty big. A better way is probably just use a random number generator and then give us value between 0 and 4 as a list. Plug that in and just randomize it. That's better. This will guarantee that it will not crash. Files, save as. So I quite like this. This way we can easily modify all kind of attributes inside modifier. That will also work with any kind of modifier you apply there. Let's say if you're using Suzanne the monkey, and we just gonna subdivide it once and apply, and it's just do a remesh. Remesh has different types, sharp, smooth, but I like the block. And the block, of course, you can change the scaling here, and you can actually animate that. But what I really want to do is, let's say we have duplicate of this monkey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of the monkey, and we want to control the scaling here using Sverchok. Just copy that and paste it here. Make sure this is correct. So that should actually work now. If we give like a random float value for the scale, maybe 0.2 here. Now we have this object at a different voxelation level. Size 16, actually we have only 10. So we can randomize it. So yeah, file, save as. So I think this is pretty cool. Something that shows progress. If you want it in order, maybe use a range float and start stop 0 to 1, count 10, plug it in. Now we have we have like a progression of the voxel. I believe we can actually go higher here. So Oct3 dev, for the Oct3 dev we probably just can do it like this. Copy data path, paste, and make this equal 5. Just equal 5 or equal 3. So we can actually do it this way. Just assign a single value that's going to be applied for every single instance of Suzanne here. We have 10 of them. So I thought that's pretty cool. We can even arrange it. Our topic is doing the modifier, so maybe let's say if we are using array actually can be cool. Boolean, maybe we can do array on the next video. Build modifier can be interesting. So build modifier is kind of showing the progression of a mesh being rebuilt like that. This is actually affected by time frame though. Probably not gonna do that for now. I think what else we can use? I like array. That's can be really useful. Solidify. I think I'm gonna save this. I want to show you the array modifier. Maybe that can be interesting. Just a quick one. So let's say you want to apply array modifier to this guy. Okay, it's actually growing that way in the x-axis. We don't want it. We want it to grow on the z-axis. So we have that. And let's make a couple of duplicates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 is a good number. So this is going to be a preview. Maybe I want to do more with this array. So this is array sv array modifier ID. With this guy, let's control the array, the number of the array using Sverchok. PPY context object modifier array count 6. Okay, I can already see this can be really interesting. Objects get, object ID get, and object set. I really like this object ID node. It gives you control on the objects directly. So that's copy data path, paste it here. Modifier array count, integer, range integer. Plug this in. You see? Right away you can control this guy. You can even have more, I guess. This is number 7. Let's make more. Refresh. So apparently we have 22 of them now. Array count is always like an integer number, but you can, let's say you're using math and then you're using frame number. This guy plug into this guy, we get a value between -1 and 1, -1 and 1, but we can always change it to any value. This is float to integer. It's doing that at the moment because we only have a single value. We need to have multiple values, so we use math additional range integer, offset it. Now we have something like this. Range count, I think counts better, 22 of them. Step, the step will control the offset of the time. So I thought this is really quite interesting. I totally didn't plan this. This can be, we control the speed of time. Yeah, very nice. And that's a single, it's the same object. Each one of them has a same array modifier. I like how Blender simply just create duplicates with the same modifier name and everything. Very powerful. And if you don't want to use the sine wave, just use random. This is my favorite node. random 22 of them, plug that in, and you can randomize the height, randomize the seed, and you can have, maybe you have city if you want. Select all of them, but remember again, this is like this is using the objects in Blender. So like I said, if you are directly working on objects, make sure the object is less than 1000. Might maybe in the near future Blender can handle 10,000 objects a little bit faster, but I think it's also depending on my computer memory. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So easy to do this, very easy to set up. Used to be a bit harder. Once we have control over the color in Sverchok, I really want to just colorize these objects. Currently, you can do that really if you want to randomize the object color. Let's say, so at the moment 352 tower is using the same color. I can turn on the object color for the material, and then for each object I can have different color like that. I always like that kind of ability to see the object's color in the 3D scene. Now if we want to change the object color, we simply just use this attribute called color and plug in the object, and then just set the value here. Say random vector. It might complain because the color is expecting a RGBA color. Well, I shouldn't have done this, but maybe list color. We don't have color node yet. With this color, maybe float list input. Maybe you can do that. 1 2 3 4. Plug that in. I'm trying to be clever here. No, I don't think it's gonna do that. If we give a color like this, it might work. See, it's because we are giving this 4 value, 1 2 3 4, then it works. I wish we have the color node at this point. Random. Well, I guess we save it for later with the coloring. But really the idea is you can just plug RGBA value here directly. Of course you can use animation nodes to do that. If you don't know already, maybe I should actually do that. Yeah, let's just use animation nodes just as a bonus. Objects from group, just a quick review. Turn off always so it's a little bit faster. Turn on this 3. Get our group, loop through every object, and then change the color. I'm glad that I'm using both animation nodes and Sverchok. They both are slightly different. Sverchok being a little bit more advanced, sometimes it requires more brain power, but they both can do powerful things. Combine color, HSV, index, index iterations, math. index divided by iterations, plug into the hue, saturation on, plug this guy in, and you have rainbow color. I should find another way to do this kind of thing, make it more interesting. Currently I was just using the either random color or this spectrum of color. There must be another way. Vector noise or wiggle, vector wiggle, number wiggle, quaternion wiggle, quaternion wiggle. Quaternion is for value. Maybe it will complain. Well, surprisingly, it doesn't complain about the color. Even though it's quite strong in red color. Didn't expect that. Frame, plug into evolution, and then let's see the color changing. So this is over 300 objects, each one of them being colorized using animation nodes, but each one of them has an array modifier that's being randomized using Sverchok. So yeah, so here, if you never watch my other video on Sverchok and animation nodes, I want to show real quick the difference here. With animation nodes, currently the workflow is just using loop, and you can work on each object one by one, and you need to use loop in animation nodes, but while in Sverchok we just stuff it a lot of values at the same time, like this 352 objects, and the value coming in from this random number generator is maybe it should be 352, and we can just stuff it with a lot of value and it will not complain. See, even this guy, 350 value, 352 value. It should just work. And this is the full speed. If we hide the node editor, we get that. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I covered a lot of things in this video. Basically, the ability of using Sverchok to access the modifier attributes, I think that's really powerful. Whether you're using any kind of modifier in Blender, whether it's the remesh or smooth or anything. In this case, we are using the array modifier. We can just control it using Sverchok. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this live coding video. If you have any comments, suggestion, feedback, just let me know. And I'll see you in the next video.